Life hurts, nature heals. Now, in some way or another, your grandfather understood this. Because the great men of his time definitely did. There is new life in the soil for every man. There is healing in the trees for tired minds. There is strength in the hills only if we lift our eyes. Now, your great-grandfather, he was a badass. Perhaps he even rode with Teddy Roosevelt. And like Teddy, he understood the importance of getting outside, of immersing yourself in the great outdoors. In fact, if you know anything about Teddy Roosevelt, on the worst day of his life, Valentine's Day, 1884, when both his wife and his mother died on the same day in the same house. What did the guy do? He packed out, he headed out west to the Dakotas. And I can see why. I was out there a couple years ago in the Badlands, and it's amazing what that open, barren, wide open landscape can do to a man's soul and open up to him. It goes beyond words, how you feel connected and at peace in an environment that helps put you back in touch with who you are and your place in life. Now, Teddy had a great quote that came out of that time period, and it was that black care rarely sits behind a rider whose pace is fast enough. What this means in modern English is that a person engaged in meaningful work, a man pursuing his goals with vigor, is very unlikely to be weighed down by worries and anxiety. And that takes me to the next lesson from your grandfather. Honor hard work. Now, I purposely put in that word physical, because the reality is so many of us nowadays, we're working with our minds, which isn't necessarily a bad thing in today's modern society. But unfortunately for many of us, me included at times, the physical labors in our life have pretty much disappeared. And the problem with this is many of us are doing work in which we are separated from seeing the results. Yeah, you're spending a month on the road consulting with that company, but you have no idea if they're going to implement all the actions you're passing on, or if it's going to get shelved like the last project. And the result? A lack of satisfaction, a feeling that perhaps even your work is meaningless. Well, gents, take a lesson from your grandfather and honor the physical hard work. Never look at it as beneath you. And even if you can afford to hire somebody to mow your lawn, to detail your car, to clean your house, well, don't be afraid to reclaim those jobs and do them yourself. And yeah, if you're a lawyer earning hundreds of dollars an hour, obviously raking your yard, cutting up that tree with a chainsaw, it's not the most efficient or perhaps even safest use of your time. But here's the deal. The sense of accomplishment when it's done, gents, that's all yours. The sweat you feel on your brow, that's a badge of honor that your grandfather would have respected. Now, speaking of sweat, your grandfather knew, exhaust the body, tame the mind. And that's why he was into sports. Maybe he was an active, competitive rower. Now, rowing as a competition has been around since 1715. The first regattas were on the River Thames in London. And the sport stuck around because rowing is one of those few exercises that works all the major muscle groups. Quads, biceps, triceps, lats, glutes, and abdominal muscles. On top of that, it also improves cardiovascular endurance, and it's low impact, with injuries being incredibly rare and men being able to row into their 80s and 90s. Now, gents, if you're looking for the best rower on the market, you need to check out today's sponsor, Averon, and their Strong Rower. So, gents, as you can see right here, I received this Strong Rower earlier this year, and I am absolutely loving it. With the Averon Strong Rower, you not only get an amazing rower, but you get a gamified system that gives you access to over 1,000 immersive games, breathtaking natural landscapes, on-demand classes, and easy access to your favorite streaming content. The Averon Strong Rower makes it easy to compete with others or just simply compete against yourself. And the guided programs make it easy for beginners like me, or if you're an advanced user, to be able to track every metric under the sun that matters to you as a fitness enthusiast. And since the Averon Strong Rower is totally adjustable, which allows you to adjust the foot width, the foot height, and it has a great seat that also is adaptable for a lumbar support, gents, this rower, just do your research, is easily one of the best on the market. And these new handlebars are really nice. Not only are they comfortable, but the ones I have right here with the orange arrows allow you to adjust the resistance right in the middle of your workout. So, gents, if you're looking to get your cardio and strength workout at the same time in a minimal amount of time and build up the habit through gamification, then, gents, you need to check out the Averon Strong Rower. And by the way, if rowing's not your thing, check out their gamified treadmill and bike. Both of these tools have great reviews, and they're using the same gamification techniques that I've tested and I can tell you work to get you to work out more. So again, gents, if you're looking for a tool that's going to keep you coming back, keep you sweating on a daily basis and feeling good about your workouts, and again, in a very short amount of time, you can get an amazing workout, much better. You know, I'm a runner, I love running, but in a shorter amount of time, I get a much better workout on my rower. Again, that link right here is in the description of the video. Click on it to make sure you get the best deal on the web, and use that promo code I'm also putting down there to make sure that you save and get the best deal. It's a limited time deal, so take advantage of it, guys. They've got some of the best prices I've seen over on the website. Awesome company, proud to support them. Yeah, go check out that link. It's down in the description. Now, if your grandfather was a sailing man, you may have heard him say, "A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships were designed for." The point here is that staying in your comfort zone. Well, yeah, if you do that, you'll live a life that will leave you unscathed. No damage because you'll make no mistakes. But that is the mistake because you were designed to go out there and explore. I mean, genetically, if you think about it, you are a miracle. What were the chances that the countless generations before you would all succeed and you are that end point? And with this gift, this life, this vehicle of a body that you have, don't be afraid to go out there and push yourself. See what you are capable of. Because the reality is, if you're not making mistakes, if you're not tripping over yourself, if you're not occasionally making a fool of yourself, then you are not running fast enough. You're not living this life with a little bit of recklessness. Yes, it's a balance. You don't want to have so much that you go off the rails. Don't be afraid to take some risks, to start that company, to join that nonprofit, to move out to LA and try your hand at acting. Yes, you know that the chances are next to nil. But your grandfather also would have told you that 100% of the shots you don't take, don't go in. Just go out there and give it a chance. Give it a try. Because in the words of your grandfather, you're going to end up regretting the things that you don't try, not the things that you do. The next advice from your grandfather: man up to your mistakes. Gents, responsibility is a cornerstone of respect. And like I said earlier, when you go out there and you try things, you are going to make mistakes. You are going to F up. And occasionally you're going to do something stupid that looking back on, you shouldn't have made that choice. Well, guess what? You need to own it. You need to take responsibility. And a funny thing will happen when you do this. You'll have some people that will be upset. But you know those people? Do you respect them? Have they ever done anything? No, the people that you respect, the people that have accomplished great things, they're going to applaud you for taking respect, for taking that ownership. And they're probably going to share with you stories of when they did something similar or something even worse to make you feel a little bit better. The reality is when you take ownership, when you take responsibility, this is a sign of integrity. And it's a badge that other men who have that integrity recognize, and their respect for you shoots up. Another saying your grandfather possibly passed on to you: become in the becoming. The idea here is that value the journey as much as the destination. Yes, we've all got big goals. We've got things we want to accomplish. But assuming those goals are going to take more than a day, a week, maybe even years, well, it's safe to say that we're going to spend 99.9% of our time in the process of going after those goals. Well, it was probably through those years of hard work that your grandfather realized, and what he wanted to pass on to you is it's not the end point that's most important. It's the process of getting there and who you become in that process. Gents, it's the process, what it does to you and how you react to it. That is the prize. And that's why your grandfather encouraged those small celebrations daily. It's celebrating a meal with family and friends, because the goal here is to savor the steps, not just that end goal, which, by the way, you don't always reach the finish line. So you want to savor those moments as you're heading there. New wine in old wineskins. The meaning of this saying is to cherish tradition, but adapt. Don't be afraid to blend yesterday's wisdom with today's tools. Your grandfather was once your age, and so he really understood where you're coming from, and he understands that you're really focused on the shiny, on the new. And he knows this because he was you. He had the same feelings, the same desires. But what he came to realize is some of the customs and traditions passed on, they have a deep meaning that isn't necessarily appreciated by those that are fairly new to them, that are, let's say, uninitiated. And he also saw how the modern pace of life can start to crowd out those rituals, those customs, those things that to many people don't seem that important. But gents, you're smart. You paid attention to the wisdom of your grandfather because you know he's looking out for you. And that strangely, one of the most important things to him was to pass on to you these traditions that as you seem to get older, you realize, wow, it's this secret knowledge that makes me who I am. And that takes us to the next point. Wisdom is wasted if you hoard it. Your grandfather knew this, and that was why he wanted to spend so much time with you passing on the old ways of smoking meat. You remember this. He'd walk you through the whole process of showing you exactly how to select the right pieces of meat, what to look for in the cut, in the color, how to prep it, how to salt it, how to spice it, and how to choose the right pieces of wood that weren't too green, weren't too wet. I know a little bit about this living in Wisconsin, man. We're all about smoked meats, sausages, using specifically apple wood to create a smoky flavor, and then letting that meat hang in a meat house for 2 days to get the perfect, tender richness and flavor. Your grandfather knew that the wisdom knowledge like this was like a torch. His is starting to wither, and he passes it on to you to carry on the actions, to have the skills that will enable you to take care of others in the way that he took care of you. Someday or day one, you decide. Now, your grandfather probably shared that pearl of wisdom with you when you were procrastinating, when you were giving him excuses of why you couldn't do what you wanted to do. Gents, don't ever let what you can't do stand in the way of what you can. The reality is your grandfather, when he was passing this knowledge to you, has seen more days than what he has left, and he knew his time was limited. And in his years on this earth, he had seen the miracle of what happens when a person just gets started. So when he hears you complaining about not being able to find work, about not having the body that you want, well, what's he do? He points out that there's plenty of work to do in the backyard. Not only are you going to get some exercise, but he's going to get that wood cleared out behind the shed. Well, gents, when he does this, and what I'm suggesting here is not that people want to take advantage of you. No, that people want to show you that a small bit of action always trumps complaining. Within an hour or two, you not only got a workout in, but you also have a case study that all the neighbors can see that, hey, you are for hire. You can do some work here. Next thing you know, you're getting hired for some side jobs, which leads you working for the owner of that hardware store. That all of a sudden, you know what? We need somebody on the weekends. We need help on the docks. Now, that may not be your dream job, but you know what? It is an opportunity. And your grandfather knew it, and you know it deep down as well. And that is that the best preparation sometimes is to begin. All right, Jen, so what'd you think? What did I miss? Let me know in the comments below. I love to hear from you guys and what video to watch next. Boom, I got you covered with this one right here. Go check it out. Yeah, you want to be old school cool? I got you covered. Solid video. Gents, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching the video. And yeah, don't stop now. Boom, got you covered right there. Oh, yeah.